Transformers more than meets the eyes. This is Chucky from Collecting for Fun. Welcome back. We are now going to do our complete review of this Armada Universe Optimus Prime Transformer. This one is a very cool Transformer. I can say that I actually am not a big fan of the original Armada series, meaning that I haven't actually had time to watch too many of the episodes. However, what I do know of it's kind of a Japanese animated version of the Transformers, and one of the things is it has an Optimus Prime with a super mode, which is what we're going to be transforming this into eventually. So let's start with the vehicle mode. So we've got it laid out as it came out of the box, and we've had some time to practice play with it. So let's go ahead and transform it. So right now, as it came out, we got Optimus already in his truck mode, and we're going to go ahead and assemble the trailer now. So we're going to loosen out some of the panels on the sides. And bring that out. Very stiff. You can see, we're going to transform this little panel out there and flip that up. Flip that panel down and bring that out. Now we're going to attach this kind of gray component. This is his firepower that he's eventually going to be using when we transform it into the command center. And attaches to the back. Alright, so that firepower now becomes the engine, or the exhaust, I guess, more specifically the exhaust. And got to tighten these things up a little bit. And then we are so we have the trailer now completed, as you can see. So it's got a kind of a tanky wheels to it. It's got the Autobot symbol on it, and it's got these stands here so you can keep it stable from falling down. And so let's go ahead and we're going to combine it with the actual truck part and get the gun part ready as well. So you just attach the gun to the top, and the part of the guns become part of the exhaust, it looks like, for Optimus. Okay, so you can see the truck mode is kind of a more sleeker animated version of the original Optimus Prime. It's a little bit flatter, less squarey version. And so let's combine the truck and the trailer and see how that looks like. Let's bring that over there. Let's zoom in on this thing so we can see that in a bit more detail. So again, it looks more tanky to me. And I think this looks pretty bang on, reasonably bang on to what the animated show is like. So I have really no complaints about the actual Transformer. It's based on the cartoon. It looks like the cartoon. Trailer's kind of more of a tank. So he looks like he's built more for war than the original G1 Optimus. And I think that was the whole part of the lure of the Armada series. Obviously, trying to make itself differential from the original G1 Transformers. So with the gun, you can see his ion cannon here. It's pretty sleek. and it's a 5mm cannon as well. And yeah, let's go ahead. And so my take on the truck is it's a pretty cool vehicle mode, very consistent with the Armada series. And so let's go ahead and start transforming this into the truck mode, as well as the command center mode as well that his trailer becomes. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we'll start with the truck mode. So we're going to flip these panels out on the sides here. Flip that piece down in the front. And we're going to raise out the arms, or what will become the arms, off the side there. A little bit tight in there, so we just got to loosen that down so we can get that down. And that folds up into the chest, and that locks into this panel there, clips in. And then I'll start flipping those things up for the feet, flipping that back a little bit and bring that down. And we're going to bring down the wheels, the sides, same thing on the other side. And there's a locking panel that has a little clip in there. Lock that in. I'm going to loosen the feet there, lift up the side flaps, loosen up the legs, and kind of lift up that little butt flap there. Bring that back down. And so that is the Optimus. And he's also got a matrix leadership in there. And you can see it's kind of a red leadership matrix in there, but that red thing is coming more from the little pin that's in there. Pop that off there, and then you can see there's the red pin there, and the matrix itself is kind of clear. So I actually, since I haven't watched the show, I'm not sure how it presents in the show. Does it look red or is it clear? But I mean, that's what I noticed on the actual toy. And we'll pop that back on. And let's have a look at Optimus. We'll pop the gun on there. All right, so there's Optimus. And let's have a look at, we'll take a look on the back of the box so we can make sure that we're looking Optimus here on the bottom there. I mean, that is what he's supposed to look like. He's got, to me, again, having never seen the show, I find his arms look kind of clunky. Like he looks like he's one of those jacked up football player type things. He can't bring his shoulders down. But I don't know if that is how he presents in the show or not. But that's one thing I have noticed with this transformation. It looks like his arms just kind of bulk out to the side there. And you can see on the picture here, and the pin here is different. So that one's, I don't know why the one here is red, but on the box it shows up clear, or gray. So that's kind of different. But anyways, so that's one thing I noticed is that his shoulders look like, he's a linebacker of some sort. The legs, I don't know, the plastic, it's interesting. He's got pretty good flexibility in the legs. So let me just zoom back out a little bit so we can see. So you lift the flaps, you can do the splits if you lift the flaps, move his legs out. He's got good bending in the knees. His feet have a good flexibility. And so he's quite posable in certain ways. Obviously the shoulders, there's kind of weird limitations as far as it will go up and down, just the way they're shaped. But yeah, you can pose it. That's not going to be an issue. And so let's go ahead and we'll get the command center ready now. And so we can get those two together. And lift up those side panels there. We'll take out those flaps down on the side there, and bring those side panels up. We're going to split that base panel down a bit and bring out that part. This is like the tanky part of it. That tanky part kind of reminds me of Roller. Obviously quite wider, but you know, I'm not sure if that was the intention or not. So we're flapping down these things, and we're going to tag them into this into the main plate there, and bring get the guns outside. They're ready. Flip those things up, and we're going to flap that thing into there. There's a tabby thing right there that's going to slap into for the base mode. Just tag that into place, flip that blue thing up, bring that piece up, and pretty much do the same thing on the other side. Flip that up, tab that down. There we go. And we'll finish. All right, so we got into base mode right now, and we got the guns ready there. And so I guess Optimus kind of stands behind it. Again, having not seen the show, I'm not sure how he uses it. Does he even stand behind it, or he just kind of stands beside it and just lets it rip? I'm not 100% sure. So it looks like he can stand like that behind it. So that's kind of a defense, and he's got super rapid fire coming. He's got his gun, and he's got the shooter's weapons here. So I mean, it's a pretty impressive battle command center there. I'm not exactly sure how often he used that in the series, but I mean, it looks pretty cool. So to me, I mean, it's a nice feature that they have that. Certainly the command center looks a lot more battle ready than the G1 version of the trailer. But, you know, this is not where we're going to end. So if we were doing our G1 Optimus Prime, this is kind of where we will end, with Optimus in his robot form and Optimus with his command center form. But this is the main event, sir. This is where we want to go. So let's see about transforming it into its super mode. And he looks pretty impressive in the super mode. Kind of like a mecha robot there. So let's go ahead, and this kind of reminds me, the closest one in G1 where we had something like this was kind of Ultra Magnus, because pretty much Ultra Magnus was a white Optimus Prime with basically his trailer becoming his battle armor around it, but they called it Ultra Magnus. So here we are, we're going to bring those flaps in, we're bringing these panels down, flip these things down as well, and we'll pretty much get the back ready there and bring those down, because we are now creating the feet of the super robot form. We'll flip this part down and around and bring that down, and that becomes basically the whole waist area. And we'll bring that part up a little bit, and this was going to kind of support the top part that the top torso is going to be part of, which we are going to now transform with the main robot form of Optimus Prime. We're going to flip those panels up and bring the feet in. Good. And we'll flip these parts down, flip that part up, and flip that part down. And these are becoming the hands of the super form. We'll flip that up there, and we'll get them bent up a little bit, getting ready to move them into form. Now we're just basically going to get the arms kind of jimmied up a little bit, bring that chest piece down, and we're going to get the head, kind of like get the arms right next to the head there, and flip that around. going to split this area. It's a little bit stiff. We got to break that joint a little bit. Separate that. There we go. It's a really tight tag in there. We'll flip those panels out. This area is a little bit loose there. Once they're loose in there, bend that into place. We are bending these areas in, and we're getting ready. We're tabbing this into this area here, into that area. Yep. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Bend that. And you see that it was a double bend there that we had to do. Bend at the top end arm joint and then slap that in. And then we're going to bring out the major arms for the Super Transformer mode and get those in position. You can see that the car is becoming more of the torso, and basically we just got to get the head out now. There we go. I'll flip that up, fix up the back part again and kind of stabilize that. Feels tight. There you go. I'll double bend in there. Get the hands turned a little bit. And then we're going to combine. We're going to slap that in. There's a little tabby thing, a couple tabby things that we're going to use. Slap that down. Oops. Let me just slap it into the back first and tab those areas down to secure it. And we're just going to basically bend the torso in, and there's a little tightening thing there that we're going to use to kind of snap it into place. And there we go. Make sure everything's tabbed tightly. And now we have the super mode of Optimus Prime pretty much ready. And I have to say that this is probably my favorite mode. It kind of reminds me of classic, anime robots from way back, almost like Grandizer type. Obviously, the coloration is much different, but the head reminds me of Grandizer. But yeah, he looks pretty epic in his giant super mode there, and he does remind me one of those like almost like a combiner, but but obviously not. It definitely looks like an armored Optimus. And so let's go ahead and we'll see about how mobile the arms have good joint movement. This part here, for whatever reason, every time you move the arm, just kind of flips out a little bit, but both sides. But yeah, pretty good arm movement there. That's the legs. You can still do the splits. You gotta flip this arm flap out there to allow it to do it. And I don't know how much the knees bend. They do bend a little bit, but they're quite stiff. So yeah, we can definitely pose this into different modes. There he is standing on one foot, balancing, and but we can get it into some pretty cool modes there. So just to give you an idea, yeah, you can pretty much bend the arm pretty well there. But just give you an idea how big this is in super mode. So we have our Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, which is a Commander class as well. But you can see the difference in height now. In super mode, this thing is more than 50% bigger. Like it's not quite double, but yeah, it's about 50% bigger as far as height. But the girth wise, obviously, is quite a bit too. And he has to, like, even if he's bending on his leg, he's still taller than an Optimus. There's his buddy mode there. But yeah, I mean, basically, he's got his trailer combined with him to make the super mode, and he's gigantic. I mean, he's I I don't know what when Studio Series Devastator comes out. I'm not sure how tall it's going to be, but it it may be still, it may be comparable in size. I don't know if it's going to be a lot bigger than the super mode. Let's bring him back up to full height again. But yeah, well, I guess we'll see how big the Studio Series 86 Devastator is going to be. He's certainly taller than like many of the combiners that they've made. So it's a big boy. It's definitely a big boy. Um, he's smaller than Titan class, but I mean he's it's a big transformer. So I mean this is definitely taller than Grimlock from the Studio Series 86. So yeah, I have to say this is a pretty impressive toy. I can't say I love the robot mode of the Optimus Prime, and that's just me because I'm so used to this version of Optimus. Um, but I mean, obviously, the Optimus Prime that we did get with this toy is true to the animated series Armada. But I have to say, this robot, this kind of mech looking robot here, that looks pretty sweet. That looks pretty sweet. So yeah, very cool transformer, especially if you're a big fan of Armada. I picked this up because I thought it looked cool, and I asked my son if he wanted it, and he said yes. So that's why we have it. In case you're wondering why I picked this up and I'm not a fan of Armada, it's because hey, my son said I wanted it, so we got it from him, and he's been playing with it, and so he was helping me with the transformation because it looks pretty complicated in transformation with all the different moving parts. And as you can see, let's take a look. I mean, so that there is the final mode, which is what we got here. And then there's the truck mode. In this kind of comparison, let's bring out the box for the Studio Series 86, just so we can compare the robot and truck modes. So when we're looking at the truck modes here, we have the truck mode there compared to the original truck mode there. I prefer this one myself, but you know, this is the way it presented in the animated series, and so I'm good with that. As you can see, it's a much shorter truck in the vehicle in the front, and the back part's a lot more tanky. So I think it's more built for battle. You can see the guns on top, whereas this one's trying to blend in into like the 84 type of cars at the time. And then the robot mode, you can see Optimus there. That's the classic what we have here. And then when you look at the robot mode of Optimus in the Armada, I said, you know, to me it looks really clunky, and the arms are huge. Like they're like his shoulders looks like they're like, it looks like he's a weightlifter that can't put his arms down straight, right? It looks like a giant linebacker. But I guess that is the way that he is in the show. And but I mean, you can't deny the final result of this super mode. It's just pretty darn impressive. Um, you know, it 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 looks pretty intimidating to say. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this purchase. My son really loves this toy, and so yeah, we can't go wrong. The guns are interchangeable as far as they do fit in the hands of both, so that is pretty good. He's got the 5mm pins to hold the guns. So yeah, so that's my take on the Armada Universe Optimus Prime. And yeah, I think this one's a winner, especially if you like the Armada universe. To me, this mode just makes everything worth it. I think to me, if it had stopped at the transformation modes that were there, the robot mode there, I don't know if I would like it as much. Um, but because it eventually becomes this, I I gotta say this one's a winner in my book. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. As I said, if you love Armada and you love this Optimus Prime as one of your favorites on that show, and you like this super mode, which is just plain awesome, I have to say that's a pretty cool toy. And look at the firepower at the back. I don't know if that flips up for him to shoot. I don't know if it clears his head when it fires, but hey, that looks pretty sweet. So this is Chucky from Collecting for Fun. I hope you enjoyed this review. of the Armada Universe Optimus Prime. You guys take care. Bye now.